You're ready.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kaleigh and I'm here to talk to you guys about composting as a solution to food waste. So today we are going to talk about the problem of food waste, composting as a solution, and composting specifically within Fort Worth. So let's first talk about the problem of food waste. So 1.3 billion tons of food is wasted globally per year, and this equates to about 30% of all food that is produced or generated. So that basically equates to 2.9 trillion loaves of bread. And with this, as the population grows and increases, there is a lesser amount of food that is available. So this just goes to show that there's so much food being wasted that isn't being utilized. So I just want everyone to take a second to think about how much food is actually going into their trash cans each week. I know for my family going back home, there used to be about 3 trash bags a week just full of food and just junk that could else be reutilized. So where does all this waste go? It mostly goes to the first of landfills. This is just where food takes up a lot of space and then decomposes to make the greenhouse gas called methane. Here, this is probably the most used one and most known, but there also is incineration. It's basically you burn the trash and all the smoke goes into the air. Finally, it can be recovered. This is the least known or least used place where food goes, but it is the most sustainable and a better way to reuse your food scraps. So, the EPA put out the food recovery pyramid, which just states what the most preferred to the least preferred ways of reducing or throwing away your excess food. So the first obviously is source reduction, and this is just going straight to the core problem, or just buying less and producing less food in general, because that's how you won't have to throw away anything in the first place. As you can see, composting is the second least preferred, but I believe that this is the most attainable for most people because industrial use feed animals, this is just not things that you can do day to day, and I believe that composting is the most accessible way that you can reuse your food and reduce your impact. So, let's talk about composting as a solution to this. So in 2018, Americans recovered over 25 million tons through composting, which equates to 0.42 pounds per person per day, which is a good start, but I feel like compared to what we throw away, it's not even close, and so I think it can be improved. So let's start with what composting actually is. It's just mixing of decaying organic matter and making it into soil. And so this can be done by adding bulking agents and getting your excess food waste or excess organic matter and combining them together and making nutrient-rich soil. So this is a good way to get rid of your food. So the benefits of composting are it creates, as I said, organic rich soil, and so with this you can reduce your use of fertilizer and water because it's already going to be all there. And so if you have a farm or if you have a farm, you can use these soils that you already don't have to pay money, and you're already using the food scraps that you have already bought instead of buying new fertilizer, and it makes a more nutrient-rich soil already. And it also, if you add compost to dead soil, it can revitalize it and making it a better soil in general. And it also just helps reduce food waste in general and reduces greenhouse gas like methane that you get from throwing it away. So within Fort Worth is the 13th largest city in the United States, and this just increases the amount of food insecure people that there are and increases the amount of food wasted since it is such a large city. So, sorry about that. Within Fort Worth, there's $300,000 spent on food wasted alone, and as I did say, it's the 13th largest city, so this probably has increased within the last year and probably will continue to increase. So Fort Worth specifically the city has the pilot program, and there are some extensions and programs not associated with the city. This can be like cowboy composting, but there is a Fort Worth City pilot program that has composting drop-off sites, and so they give you a little bucket and you put all of your food waste in your compost. And I didn't even know paper towels, tea bags, everything, most things are compostable, and you put those all into a little bin and then you drop it off at a site. And this is just an easy way for residents to have a way to compost and give back and not have as much like trash in their landfill. This is only within residential, and so I think an expansion of this would be to have pickup programs or have more accessible drop-off locations, because some people can't drive to the drop-off locations at that time, and so having a pickup program would be beneficial. And I also think that adding restaurants into this would be very beneficial for this program, because as residential houses can only produce so much food waste and so much compost, but restaurants can do that at a much larger scale. And so I think by adding a pickup or drop-off program for restaurants specifically would greatly improve and increase composting within Fort Worth. So finally, talking about all of this, what can you specifically do today? First and foremost, just source reduction would be the top priority, and just you can do this by making meal plans, grocery lists, and really sticking to them, and so you don't have any excess food at the end of the week that needs to be thrown out, and you don't have excess produce that just goes bad and sits in your fridge. I know my parents have really done this, and they have started composting, and this has greatly reduced the amount of trash bags that they give up at the end of the week. I think they used to do 3, now they have 1, and so by doing this and then participating in these composting programs, I think would be first and foremost. It's really easy. You can go get a little box and then drop it off at the end of the week, and anyone can do this, and so I think it's a really accessible way that you can do this. And even if you have a garden, or you can start growing your own food, like I have a tomato plant in my backyard right now, and so this is just an easy way to limit the amount of food that you're actually intaking or buying. And you can also use the compost that you make into your garden at the end of the day. So I think all of these things that you can do just today, that would be easy switches in your daily routine. So these are my references. Thank you. And then